First of all, we should know when we need stem cells. We do need stem cells when specialized cells can't reproduce themselves anymore, so we need something that replaces them, and these are stem cells. Anyway, we need to know how long does a cell live. The lifespan of cells is very different one from another, and it spreads from a couple of days for granulocytes, for example, to 30 years for cells, such as bone cells. Here are some more examples of a cell lifespan. As we can see, there are skin cells that live 3 days, red blood cells which live for months, pancreas cells that can solve their function for more than a year, and lots of others like this. Cells follow a normal cell cycle which consists in 5 phases. The G1 phase, where the cellular material is increased. The S phase, where the DNA is duplicated. The G2 phase, in which there is the preparation for the cell division. Finally, there is a mitotic phase in which chromosomes in a cell nucleus are separated into 2 identical sets of chromosomes, and each set ends up in its own nucleus. Stem cells do an asymmetric cell division in which 2 daughter cells with different cellular phases are reproduced. One of these cells is a copy of the original stem cell, while the second daughter cell is programmed to differentiate into a known stem cell fate, a specialized cell ready to perform its own function. Stem cells can also be classified for their plasticity. They vary in the degree of plasticity, of developmental versatility. It is perhaps easier to understand in terms of which kind of cells they can become. They are then split into 2 main categories, embryonic and adult stem cells. Beginning with embryonic stem cells, we found totipotent stem cells are the most versatile types of cell. They can give rise to all kinds of tissues and even to an entire functional organism. They are found in the first 4 days of life of a human being. Pluripotent stem cells can give rise to all types of cells, but not to an entire functional organism. They can be found in a blastocyst. Then, in adult tissue we find multipotent stem cells are less plastic cells than the others. They can give rise to a really limited range of cells, all included into the same tissue as blood, epidermic, etc. Unipotent stem cells belong to the lower level of cells plasticity. They are only used as a reservoir, especially for the reparation of replacement. They are situated into almost every human tissue. At a certain stage of their lifespan, most cells start to specialize, so they can no longer reproduce themselves. Due to this fact, stem cells are important because they replace specialized cells once they die or get used. For example, stem cells take part in the regeneration of blood cells, since millions of these cells have to be replaced every day in our body. Embryonic stem cells offer new hope for new therapies, but their use in research has been hotly debated. There are 2 main kinds of problems, ethical and economic, and 2 opposite points of view. For what concerns the economic problem, the ones that are against the use of embryonic stem cells affirm that now we are spending too much money for these researches, while we could invest them to solve current problems such as world hunger or poverty. On the other hand, there are those who think that it is an investment for the health of everyone, even if it costs a lot. More discussed is the ethical problem over the religious one. Scientists and those who agree with them consider stem cells only a mass of cells and underline that the embryos that are used in any case would be dismissed. On the contrary, priests and the ones that have a strong faith think that this mass of cell is a potential life, and anyway we are not sure these researches will succeed in finding new therapies.